Okay, so you know Aaron from Bat in the Sun. What have I told you? No matter how many times he opens his mouth, he keeps on saying some off the wall stuff that makes people hate this man even more. And there's a reason why people just cannot stand him. I can't stand him because when I first discovered Bat in the Sun years ago, I thought they were cool, pairing up two characters from different franchises and to see who would win in the fight. I thought the projects he did with JDF, White Ranger versus Scorpion, Green Ranger versus Ryu, and then they teased Adam Park versus Ryu, and we didn't even see that in the dawn of day. So, ever since JDF passed on 3 years ago, all this nigga kept on doing is talking on his behalf as if he was his family. Even JDF called this nigga out too. Ain't nobody talk about it. Trust me, Aaron is one of those individuals that I cannot stand from the likes of me. All this dude does is keep talking on JDF's behalf. To be honest with you, I really don't want to watch Batness. To be honest with you, I really don't want to watch Legend of the White Dragon because it doesn't feel right. It will never feel right. Even if I have to force myself to watch this movie, knowing that it could go straight to Tubi because of its production, and there's no way you're gonna put it in theaters just because you want to honor JDF's legacy. Like, come on, bro. At the end of the day, I don't like Aaron from Bat in the Sun. Stop talking about JDF. Leave him alone. You already done enough damage, my nigga. So shout out to Movie Universe for this, because I think he sent me the league early when I was in church earlier.
Hey guys, Movie Fan here. Well, as you already know, I made it very clear that I have no intention of watching Legend of the White Dragon. Not after what Aaron Snoke did.
Yeah.
Yes, I know I'm saying his last name wrong, but
I don't care. Say it.
I don't care. Because,
right.
Like I said before, he's told horrible lies claiming that Jason David Frank and Amy Jo Johnson had a falling out, which we know is not true at all. He talked like he was
Wait a
his only
minute.
friend.
He said that him and Amy Jo Johnson had a falling out. Now he's doing damage control as if what he said is true. But then again, he always want to say some stuff and start some stuff that made no sense whatsoever. Then it's obvious to me that this guy just wants clout and attention. Like, he basically just wants all of the credit that he's done for JDF. Even JDF called his behind out too. And yet nobody is talking about it. I mean, they only did like a few cons together. So what is this nigga talking about?
But I want to make something a little more clear. Recently, I had a comment saying that I'm not a true fan because, you know, I refuse to watch it when it comes out.
That's what they all say.
Assuming it does come out. Well, obviously, someone wasn't listening because I thought it was clear. But, you know, I'm going to say it anyway because new things have developed recently, which I think needs an update. So, I'm going to talk about it again. Now, like I said before, his lies that he's been telling, that was one reason why I don't want anything to do with this. But there was a lot more to it than that. Mostly due to the fact that he has been trying to milk Jason's death for all it's worth. And that is... Let's see, how do I put this? Maybe John Taffer can say it best.
Morally wrong.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
It's morally wrong. Look, folks, when the star dies unexpectedly, it's natural to want to do a little publicity on that fact because, you know, the fans need to know, just to let them know it's happened. And it's one thing to say that they're dedicating it to him because, you know, this was his last movie and all, and his work. And that's fine, because that's a given. But that's a one-time thing. And this jerk has been trying to milk that for all it was worth. He kept constantly reminding us that Jason David Frank died, and this was his last thing. And we're, you know, it's ridiculous. He kept trying to use that as a cheap publicity stunt. And once again, that is
Morally wrong.
exactly. And further,
It's been happening since forever, bro. It's like every time I see Aaron on social media, whether it's a YouTube channel or interviews, like, hold on, let me see. Deoxy 360, shout out to him. He's been the one that's been covering Aaron lately. Him and all the other content creators were talking about him. Like, this nigga has done nothing but get a lot of hate, and he deserves so. Because it's like, it's one thing of celebrating JDS's legacy, but how you're going about it is kind of questionable and suspect to me, bro. Like, because now I feel like you're just doing way too much, and you're doing this just to get attention. Like, you act like JDF was the one that really, really wanted to do everything with Hasbro, and you really, nigga, what? At some point, Aaron is just irritating, bro. Like, he can make all of his projects all he wants, but Bat in the Sun is done. Y'all cooked. Y'all cooked.
his lies have actually gotten a little more deeper than we first thought. When Jason died, they said they were going to hold back on the release because, well, you know, for the sake of his memory, they thought they would try to do it like maybe later on his birthday, but then all of a sudden they didn't follow through on that. And we didn't really get a straight answer. However, quite recently on Twitter, they came out and said, on the 25th and 26th, we are going into the color correction studio and sound mixing studio to lock Legend of the White Dragon to take out for distribution. Funny, that's not exactly the impression that we had earlier, because when it all happened, they said it was finished. So, once again, more lies. And he was using Jason's death as an excuse to release it when they weren't finished. Wow. Just when you think his lies couldn't get worse. You know what? I'll say it again.
He's what he is.
That is
Morally wrong.
And that's the truth. I mean, this jerk is milking Jason's death for all it's worth, and that is not right at all.
I wonder how many other Power Ranger actors know about this nigga, you know, that is known for, like, milking people's death for cash grab. Like that guy who tried to use Chadwick Boseman's death as a profit to sell his books. I feel like that's what Aaron is doing with JDF's death. You know what I'm saying? How you gonna sit up here and say that you're gonna hold on from the project since the morning of his death, and yet y'all went and continue to work on this movie after he died? Yeah, you know what? At some point, I'm beginning to be with the movie universe here, because I'm not gonna watch this movie because of what this idiot just did. I'm sorry. Because if you're gonna milk someone's death for profit, you're giving people enough reason to not want to watch your movie. And based on what I'm hearing, like, Legend of the White Dragon is gonna fail, bro. It's gonna fail because of what Aaron is doing. Like, all you're doing is profiting off of JDF's death. Like, nigga, you know it's wrong, Mo. You can't do that. Imagine if, you know what I'm saying? Imagine if someone would have did that to you, if it was your mother or your father or your famous uncle. And if someone is trying to profit over their deaths, I will bet you wouldn't be doing the same thing. You would be mad at that person for doing that. Like you're trying to do with JDF. Come on, man. Like, y'all gotta do better.
This happens. You do that one time. You let the world know that it happened, and of course they intend to follow through on it, and that this is going to be dedicated to him. But you don't keep using that as a publicity stunt, because that's
morally wrong.
So now I have a brand new reason to not want to see this, assuming it ever comes out. And considering all the lies he's been telling, and trying to milk Jason's death for all it was worth, I got a feeling he's going to lose a lot of people in this one. In fact,
He already
probably
has.
by now, because
He
that's
already
not
has.
right. That's not right at all. So once again, I am
To say, and shout out to the movie universe for this. I don't want to see this movie either because, like I said, it doesn't feel right without JDF because of what Aaron is doing, milking over somebody's death for profit. It's not only embarrassing, but as a man, you should know better. Like, nigga, you done lost your mind with this one. Because if it were me, if I was doing the same thing, I would have lost everything. My fans, my career, like my paycheck, because I got to make money on YouTube somehow. I would have crashed out immediately. Aaron is just crashing out on JDF's death at this point. Like, he's literally just crashing out and profiting off of somebody's death just to promote Legend of the White Dragon. You can't be doing that, bro. No wonder why I started watching Bat in the Sun years ago, bro. Years ago. He a mess. And now I'm hearing that from Deoxy 3000 that he's been deleting comments because he's been getting the smoke. I wonder why. But guess what? Anytime when you delete, they'll somehow take screenshots of your replies and burn you and expose you for the worst. That's why I'm saying that, you know, accountability is kryptonite. Men and women. And Aaron, I feel like this, Lord mercy, man, like, Lord, it's like every time I see this man, he ain't nothing but a POS. If y'all don't know what a POS is, I'll say it for you. A piece of shit. And God forgive me from saying this though, but I'm just saying, at the end of the day, stop profiting off of somebody's death because you want to take the credit because you used to work with that partner years ago. Stop it, bro. So, shout out to the movie universe. Link to the original video will be in the description, bro.